is Super League Formula.
What sensational!
It's victory for Tottenham.
They touch! They touch, they're both out.
Liverpool Football Club, champions of 2009.
Wow, if that doesn't give you goosebumps, nothing will. Hello, good morning, happy Easter, and welcome to Silverstone for the start of Season 3 of Super League Formula. Easter Sunday at the home of the British Grand Prix, round 1 of the series, projected 12 race calendar for this season, and 3 races about to get underway in cold and blustery conditions. And the home of the British Grand Prix undergoing major changes. This is the last time that Silverstone will be used in its current format. We'll take a look with our racing expert Earl Bamber.
Yeah, we've got a fantastic circuit. I think one of the biggest challenges for the drivers this morning is the conditions. It's sort of half wet, half dry. As we saw in qualifying yesterday, qualifying was won and lost in the last sector. It was very important, very, very slippery, and it's going to be very, very challenging. With the track temperature only 6 degrees at the moment, it's very challenging for the drivers this morning.
Yes, it's going to be cold and slightly blustery as well. Stiff breeze as you see the drivers. The cars are on the grid. And here at Super League Formula, we like to pride ourselves in showing you more than just the racing. Sport is all about the man as well as the equipment, and a chance to catch up with some of our front runners before the season got underway. We couldn't go past that opportunity here at Silverstone. Let's hear what they think about the series.
This is who I am. I'm David Arrigon, I'm 23, and I drive for Anderlecht.
I'm James Walker, I'm 26 and I drive for Liverpool FC. This is who I am.
This is who I am. I am Craig Dolby, I'm 22 and I drive for Tottenham Hotspur.
Speed.
Action.
I think the noise, the sound, the way the cars look, and I think combining football and racing, 2 sports, is fantastic.
It is fast.
Overtaking. I like very much the qualifying and also the format of the race.
Lots of horsepower.
It's all Super League Formula.
The reverse grid is fantastic as a driver. To come from the back to the front, it means the driver has to race, so bring on the entertainment.
It's victory for Tottenham. Victory goes to Spurs.
I think reasonably experienced, smooth on the track, aggressive, try to always bring the car home and fast.
I feel fast and clean driver because I'm Italian.
I'm a little bit superstitious, similar to most drivers, eat the same thing.
I like pasta with tomato.
Always get in from the left and out to the right.
Crouch down, everyone thinks it's funny at the start of the race when I crouch down in front of the car. You'll see this year and I'm sure you'll have a laugh, but it's something I always do.
Well done, guys.
It's different to the other championships. The cars sound fantastic, physical to drive.
Last year we were vice champions, this year is to win it.
My goal is to win the season.
Liverpool won it last year, so we've got to try and do it again. Overall, it gets the fans close to the racing. That's the most important.
This is who we are.
Well, Earl, it's interesting, isn't it? Watching that again, these guys, it's all super professional. You can't mess around with 750 horsepower supercars like these, but the passion is what gets everybody into this sport in the first place, and it's still what drives these guys on.
Yeah, no, and it's fantastic to see. And it's fantastic to see the football clubs so supportive of these guys, and it's great. They're all jumping up and down and ready to go. As we see Craig Dolby on the grid there, I know he'll be jumping and wanting to attack straight right from the start.
Yeah, absolutely. He's really revved up for this, and of course, James Walker with the number 1 on his back. Liverpool, the champions. He's got to defend all that, and of course, the first step is to get a good grid position for yourself. Let's take a look back at yesterday's mixed condition qualifying. Your reporter, Abby Griffiths.
divided into groups via the draw. As the storm clouds gathered over Silverstone, the drivers focused on finishing in the top 4 of their respective groups. The goal, to progress to the knockout quarterfinals. 4 race-winning teams from 2009 were to finish top, with Basel's Max Wissel taking the last spot in 4th, with Liverpool, Tottenham and Porto finishing above. There were thrills and spills in Group B, but Sebastian Bourdais finished top with the fastest time overall, followed by Sevilla, Flamengo and AC Milan. Going head-to-head for the first time in 2010, Max Wissel set the pace in quarter-final 1, eliminating Bourdais and Lyon.
And Bourdais surely is not going to make it.
Alvaro Perent misjudged Club Corner as the track fluctuated between wet and dry, but he was still fast enough to push out AC Milan.
That's a good-looking lap for Alvaro Perent, 1:47.0.
The 2 new guns to Super League, Liverpool's James Walker and Sevilla's Marcos Martinez, had done well to qualify for the quarter-finals, but late braking into Vale Corner cost Sevilla time and a semi-place. The aggressive Craig Dobby pushed and threw the Tottenham car sideways to eliminate Flamengo.
Okay, good job Craig, good job, easy crew.
A quick in and out for Dolby was needed as he took on Wissel in semi-final 1. Tottenham was moving quicker in sector 1, but Basel worked hard in the wet and stole the first place.
For Basel, a 45.202, Spurs rushing up behind, and a 45.590.
The knockout stages with Duncan, the first one was good, and then the second one against Max in the Basel car, we just made a mistake in the middle sector, which cost me the lap really.
Looking to stay in the winning groove for 2010, Liverpool and their new English driver took on the Portuguese Alvaro Perent. After stumbling a latter part of the lap, the FC Porto driver was still fast enough to reach the final.
So Porto go through to the final and they face off against FC Basel.
With a race win each in 2009, Basel and Porto would have a tough fight to claim the first pole for 2010.
Wissel stops the clocks, 1:43.282, and Perent looks to be well out of this. He's racing up to the line, 1:43.7, half a second behind. He closed in the end, but GU Racing's Gunther Unterreitmeier is a happy bunny.
Oh fuck, thank you guys, thank you.
It was really hard for us. We had a few problems in the dry conditions. It was my first quick lap here, so we had to push again. But we just finished 4th in the Group A, and then was happy that we had rain, and I was quicker and quicker, and now we stay on pole. It's a brilliant start in the new season.
El Bamba certainly was a brilliant start to the season we're forgetting now what were really quite tricky conditions. And this kid, when he came into Super League Formula, 19 years old, he'd raced in 2-litre Formula BMW only, almost unknown outside of his native Germany. He's really made a mark for himself, such an impressive talent.
Yeah, no, hugely impressive talent, and he has shown it before, and last season he was hugely impressive. Let's have a look at these highlights from Max Wissel last year. He wasn't afraid to pass. He got into it all the time. Here he is at Estoril, and a fantastic move there. And once again, putting pressure on people all the time. And once he proved that once he got out front, he was a very, very hard man to catch. And then even though when he did win from the front, he managed to get his way through, and even in the traffic. So he will be strong in today's first race and in today's second race. Here he is at Donington. He captured pole just like he captured pole yesterday and led from the front, and no one could touch him. So he is going to be very, very difficult to beat this morning.
Well, overtaking is always important in a driver's makeup here in Super League, because although Max starts at the front here, if he wins race 1, he'll start right at the very back in race 2. It's not good enough just to be fast in qualifying, but he was fast in qualifying. Let's take a look at his lap of a wet Silverstone.
Yeah, this is a hugely impressive lap. A lot of pressure. First super lap for the season. Here he goes, flat out 6th into Copse. Let's listen. down one gear, crack open the throttle straight away. Very nice balance. The G Racing guys have got a fantastic car underneath there for Max Wissel as he comes up to Maggots. Holds it flat to the first part, just braking a little bit, down to 5th through Beckett's. And now here there's a really important part, getting a good clean exit onto the straight, down the hanger straight. Listen to the engine. 240 Ks. And now down into Stowe. He just misses the apex on the entry there a little bit, but doesn't slow down the lap time. And this is where it almost went completely wrong for Max Wissel on his quick lap on the wet to just change it or hold it together, and does a nice job to clean that up. And now we're here, the new resurfaced part of the track, trying to apply that 750 horsepower down to the ground. Does a good job, good clean exit down onto the Abbey Straight. Coming up to the braking zone, keep it nice and tidy. It was a very difficult lap because the conditions changed between dry and wet throughout the lap, so it was hard to judge how much grip he had. Through under bridge, can he keep it flat? Not quite, but still very tidy. And then here again, the conditions changed and he ran a little bit wide. And then coming into Brooklands, he does a little bit of a different line. With all this power, he tries to square off the corner in the wet, get all the power to the ground. Coming through the last corner, does the same thing right there. It stops it, turns it, and now all that 750 horsepower V12 straight to the ground. Perfect exit, perfect lap by Max Wissel, and perfect pole position for the start of the season.
Well, great work, and with the track this morning looking a little damp as well, that's going to be very interesting in the opening laps. Just as the drivers are being strapped in, a couple of moments ago, Abby Griffiths, our pit lane reporter, got a chance to chat to them. First, she caught up with our poleman, Max Wissel.
Okay, so I've got Max Wissel here, pole position, youngest in the pack, and great start to the first weekend of the championship.
Yeah, absolutely. But now it's really difficult for us and for all other. We have in a few corners it's definitely completely wet. So I tried now on slick tires, and yeah, we will see. I spoke with my teammate. We have to wait.
So what are you hoping for, Max? I know obviously you've got the weather conditions that are going to throw up some challenges, but overall your aim?
Yeah, I don't know. So for me it's important to save points, to get points, more than enough. I don't know what it's doing, the weather and everything, so I hope we have just a clear race. If you cannot win, it's okay. But for sure I tried, but I just want to have a clear race without any mistakes or rain or something like this, and then we'll see.
Okay, well, we look forward to seeing you in action. You were strong yesterday, so let's see what's in store today. Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, there are the leaden skies overhead, but it is half grey, half blue as well. Track will dry relatively quickly, even the new sections, hopefully, with this decent breeze, but it is cold, so the track temperature's not going to help much. Well, alongside Max Wissel on the front row of the grid, you can see the car of FC Porto. Its Portuguese driver, Álvaro Parente, was Abby's second victim of the morning. Let's hear what he had to say about the race.
So second on the grid, Álvaro, how are you doing?
Good, great. Challenging race because don't know what the weather is going to do, and it's a bit mixture of slicks or wet, so we'll see. Still have to make a decision.
Yeah, you handled the weather conditions well yesterday though, driving really strong through qualifying. Do you think that experience, if it does rain, will put you in good position?
It's all going to depend what happens with the tires, really, what I said. So it depends what's quicker, slicks or wets. It's going to make all the difference. So again, have to take the right decisions.
Okay, well, it's a gamble for everyone, so let's hope you make the right one. Thank you.
Hope so. Thank you.
Well, Earl, it's not quite a toss of the coin, is it? These guys are going to have to really think hard about not having a slick tyre, because if they guess wrong on a wet, they're crucified for the race. So James Walker, third on the grid, new to the team, new to the car, new to the formula, but with Liverpool, the defending champions. Abby caught up with him as well. Let's hear what he had to say about this morning's efforts.
Third on the grid and the first British driver, James Walker. James, driving for Liverpool, pressure there, seeing as though Liverpool are reigning champions, well, defending champions.
Yeah, there is a little bit of pressure, but I think it's good pressure. I think it's good to be expected to win, and I think we've got a good chance today. As you can see, the weather's not great. It's pretty windy, and the rain could be coming that way. So we have to wait and see what happens. But hopefully, we can have a home win.
Now, James, you haven't driven for a while, so How nerve-wracking is this experience of the first race of the season?
It's not too bad. The home fans make it a little bit easier. Yeah, it's been 2 years since I've driven one of these cars, and we won at Jerez, so I think hopefully we can recreate that. Would be great. But I think the main aim for this weekend is to get 2 consistent results. 2 top 6s would be good. Obviously that's difficult with a reverse grid, so we'll see what happens.
Okay, well I'm sure the fans are excited and can't wait to see you racing, so good luck.
Thank you.
Start a quick word with him as well.
So the third British driver in Super League, it's Duncan Tappy. He's driving for Flamengo, the Brazilian club. Duncan, you spoke to me about having to dust the cobwebs off just the other day because you haven't driven for a while. How are you feeling at the moment?
It's okay. We still have some cobwebs still existing a little bit, but I was reasonably happy with my qualifying position. Really, my performance was pretty good. I was really happy with myself, and I just hope I can still learning throughout this race. And it's going to be a bit tricky to start with these conditions. But, just keep it on the black stuff and hopefully get a result at the end of it.
OK, Duncan, well, good luck to you. Like you said yesterday, you came out and you just proved us all wrong, seeing as though this car and this team and you driving it was only confirmed on Wednesday afternoon. So pretty impressive stuff. Good luck.
Cheers, thanks. Yeah, all came together very, very short. But, we've pulled it together and worked together well. So let's just keep going in that vein.
Thank you.
So let's take a look then at our front 4. Look for the multicoloured red, yellow and blue of FC Basel on pole position alongside the North London colours of Tottenham Hotspur and Craig Dolby. He'll be looking to attack hard from row 2 of the grid. Liverpool, easy to spot. The bright red of the Merseyside team. Car number 1, James Walker with that Dayglow yellow helmet. The Jerseyman on the inside of row 2 of the grid. And they're behind our front row starters. Both race winners last year for these teams. For Porto, Alvaro Parente, the Portuguese driver, and for FC Basel, young Max Wissel of Germany. He starts with the best chance to lead this race, but also with the best chance of making a mistake in the damp conditions and alerting others to the problems that may lie on the track. For him, it's a double-edged sword starting from pole. They're clearing the grid. We are about to get ready for race 1 of Super League Formula 2010. Well, let's talk about the track. You can see from the overhead shot there, little light grey patches among the darker grey. The driver's already gone round a couple of times. They'll have a feeling now for how wet the track is, but this is our first chance to have a look at it today, just to try and spot the wet patches, particularly where there's new tarmac for the revised Silverstone Grand Prix circuit that's been laid. So getting ready for race 1 of Super League 2010. Max Wissel leads them away for FC Basel with Alvaro Parente of Porto alongside him. Champions and runners-up on row 2, Liverpool with James Walker and Spurs with Craig Dolby. Flamengo have Duncan Tappy 5th, and it's new boy Marcos Martinez of Spain for Sevilla, who lines up in 6th place on the grid, ahead of Jelmer Berman for Milan and Sebastian Bourdais for Olympique Lyonnais. Olympiacos have new boy Chris van der Drift in 9th, Tristan Gormady in 10th for Galatasaray, ahead of another rookie, Naran Kartikeyan, who comes from the States. He's 11th for Eindhoven, and Sporting Club de Portugal, Borja Garcia in 12th position, just beside the Indian driver. John Martin returns, this time with Atletico Madrid, 13th for the Aussie. New team, Jourdain de Bordeaux with Franck Montagny, they're 14th, ahead of another new French driver, Julien Jus for AS Roma, and returning champion from 2008, Davide Rigon starts 16th for Anderlecht, with Robert Dornbos, the third ex-Grand Prix driver on the grid, starting 17th in the Corinthians car after a troubled qualifying session. So that is the lineup. As you can see, the skies are clear, but air temperature about 6.5 degrees, track temperature merely 10 degrees. Keeping heat in these tyres is going to be critical.
Yeah, it is, and you can see they're really giving that a good look of it. Here we see one of the cars on wet tyres, so obviously some guys have taken the gamble to try go on wets and get an advantage, and that's what we're interested to see. But I think the track's going to be dry enough. It's going to be hard for Max Wissel at the front, because he's going to be the judge man. He's going to be the marker, and Alvaro Parente right behind for FC Porto. He's going to use him as a marker and attacking him straight from the outset. But it's going to be a fantastic race. As we can see, the track's still damp in many areas, but for me it looks like slicks.
So a 40-minute race with a compulsory 4-tyre change between minutes 15 and 25, so roughly around the halfway period. And no rain is forecast. Looks to be only Galatasaray, as far as we can see from here, that have gambled on the wet. So Tristan Gomedy's pace in the early laps might be very interesting indeed. Max Wissel on the left-hand side, pole position. That'll be the slightly grippier part of the track. There's already been one small race this morning, but here we go then to get Super League Formula underway. Max Wissel leads them to the line, cars squirming as they hit the throttle, and the season is underway. Immediately Craig Dolby looking to the inside of FC Porto, defending. Liverpool's on the outside, Dolby's car wiggles wickedly, but he's up to second. Porto third, Liverpool fourth. It is Wissel that leads, and Craig Dolby goes for the lead down the inside into Maggots. He's never raced at Silverstone in the try, but you would not know it from that opening couple of corners.
Yeah, that was absolutely unbelievable by Craig Dolby. He's got so much more heat in the tyres than everyone has. Alvaro Parente is really struggling. A huge twist by James Walker and Seville.
Yeah, Parente has gone back another place. He's now down to 5th position. Marcos Martinez of Sevilla, he always starts strongly. He got by. No, it wasn't. It was Duncan Tapia of Flamengo. So Parente now with Sevilla behind, Milan behind them, and Galatasaray have gone backwards. That gamble of Frank Montero, Tristan Gomedy on wet weather tyres has not worked. But whatever he did to get heat into the tyres worked for Craig Dolby, and he is going away like a scalded cat. Look at him. He's already got a second over poleman Max Wissel in the Basel car in second place, James Walker in third. As they come down to Abbey, it's pretty wet there, some spray on the new parts of the track.
Yeah, and that was an absolutely phenomenal opening segment to the race. And here we see James Walker in the Liverpool FC car doing a good job. Lots of overtaking. It's really hard. Everyone's trying to find their feet right now. There's a lot of wet patches. There we see Chris Van just for Olympiacos trying to get past Yama Berman there, or getting close.
Yeah, the Milan car on the outside. Now he's got the inside line for Luffield, the final corner, but it's a long way around the outside. Maybe Van der Jiff can keep the power on. No, he can't quite find the heat.
And now he's got pressure from Sebastian Bourdais. Oh, that was huge by AC Milan coming on the straight in the wet patch.
Yeah, Berman had a massive wriggle with 2 cars behind there. See the spray on the front straight, and Bourdais getting on the brakes early. Sevilla drifting out wide. Marcos Martinez. So he loses 2 places. Sporting Club to Portugal, the green car on the right, going around the outside of Olympique Lyonnais, doesn't quite make it into the Beckett's S's, and on board right behind that battle now with Martinez.
Yeah, and it's hugely tricky conditions right now, and it's all about tyre temperature. You can see whoever's got a lot of heat in the tyres, they get through the water a lot easier than when the tyres were cold. They're twitching everywhere, and it's going to get easier for these guys as they get a few more laps under their belt. But it's absolutely fantastic racing right at the front. Great to see straight into it. The guys are really pumped on the grid, and they're certainly delivering.
Well, listen, Craig Dolby for Spurs, first lap a 1 minute 41.8, 3 seconds or 2.3 seconds lead, nearly 3 seconds quicker from the start than our poleman Max Wissel. Galatasaray, the orange and yellow there, under pressure from John Martin in the Atletico Madrid car. Galatasaray 11th at the line from 10th on the grid, so not lost an awful lot, but it's surely not dry enough for not wet enough for those wet weather tyres to survive very long.
Yeah, in a few laps he's going to really start to struggle. The slicks are coming up to temperature, and you can see him already struggling, and I don't think, unfortunately, it'll be long before he's at the back, and he's just going to be waiting for that pit lane window to open to change onto slicks and not cost him too much time.
Well, we're not quite 5 minutes in yet, so he's got a long time to wait, hasn't he? And it'll be like driving in custard, because there'll be no grip at all as the tyres overheat. Spurs lead now by 3.2 seconds from Basel. Flamengo a great third from Duncan Tapie. James Walker fourth for Liverpool ahead of FC Porto's Alvaro Parente. Milan in 6, Olympique Lyonnais. Bourdais defending against Martinez, but Martinez goes around Olympiacos goes around the outside of Lyonnais to hold that 7th place. Then Sporting Club de Portugal and Sevilla. And let's have a look at the start here. Well, it was a good start from Basel, but Craig Dolby was really aggressive right from the go.
Yeah, no, it's absolutely fantastic to see And here we go into turn 1. People were trying to feed their way. And look where Craig Dolby is. He's right on the dry line. A lot of the guys misjudged it, and he just had so much better traction and got such a good run up into Maggots and did the move. And I bet you he was on the power boost at the same time.
4 cars in 2 corners. Craig Dolby moved up from 4th to 1st. So he got by, held off James Walker into the first corner, had a big braking weave. Let's ride on board now. When he gets on the brakes, suddenly car gets really twitchy under him.
Yeah, but look how much grip he's got on the inside there, and he just drives. He's got so much more grip. The tyres are so much hotter than the other guys. It's unbelievable. He just takes the lead in brilliant fashion. He told us he was going to attack. He told us he was going to get it sideways, and it's brilliant to see. Perfect start for him.
And here he is, our race leader. Last lap, 1 minute 39.7. Leader. Second car, 140.6, so another 9/10 of a second quicker. He seems to be in an entirely separate category. Now, earlier you talked about the over-rev facility. They can use this 8 times in a race, gives them an extra 1,000 RPM, goes from 11 to 12,000 RPM, boosts the speed. And look, second place is now Flamengo's Duncan Tappy. Max Wissel has gone off. Well, he's gone off and dropped right down the order. So I believe we've got that. We'll take a look at that in a moment. Just behind Olympique Lyonnais and Olympiacos, and there is the FC Basel car, bottom of the top 10 for him. He's in 9th place, right behind Sporting Club de Portugal, and on board.
Here we go. Oh, he just has a huge moment, got on the wet stuff and couldn't do anything about it, and now battling through all the new construction works. Still can't hold it through the gravel trap, still keeping it straight, but now he's on the grass and through the water and completely locked up, and very, very lucky that no one hit him there. But yeah, very, very treacherous stuff, and now he's going to be a madman on a charge. As you can see, he's already trying to pressure someone into another pass. Is he going to get past?
No, can't quite get by Olympiacos. And he's got Sevilla Marcos Martinez right behind. So the Basel car now, blue, red, yellow and brown from all that mud. All this construction work, this is where he went off.
And Olympiacos, they're on wet tyres. We didn't spot that earlier, but Chris Strange is on wet tyres, and he is really, really struggling right now. And was that James Walker off to the corner in the Liverpool FC car? I'm not sure.
I'll take a look at that in a moment. He was in 3rd place, in 4th place behind Porto. As they got to the line last time. Spurs the comfortable leaders, and interesting, both cars on row 5. Good spot, Earl Bamber. There is Liverpool, the defending champions, are stuck somewhere in the construction works. Look, that's where the new Grand Prix circuit will be, around the back in the infield at Silverstone. Spurs lead, Liverpool are out of race 1. Well, one thing, the good side of that, if there is a good side, is that he will start race 2 on pole position with a fully fixed car, hopefully.
Yeah, no, that's a shame for Liverpool FC defending champions. James Walker, rookie, coming in and having that sort of start. He was in 3rd place and doing very, very well, but he'll be start from the front row. And I think now clearly the tyres to be on are the slick tyres, and those guys on wets are just praying for the minutes to tick by quicker and quicker so they can get onto some slick tyres, as we see Chris Strangers for Olympiacos on those wets, and they're just chewing apart. You might as well be on road car tyres right now with those wets on, and he's really, really starting to struggle, and wishing the pit, you can see the car sliding, wishing the pit lane window would open. And here we go, let's see what happened to Liverpool.
Well, again, this is at the Vale at the end of the Stowe section. Very tight into club corner.
Oh no, he's just spun it.
Bounced off the curb, didn't he?
Yeah, he spun it, and I think you might find something's happened there. It looks like he's stalled.
Well, now you see he got it going round again, so maybe
it's a strange one.
Well, we saw, didn't we, yesterday? Was at Anderlecht with a jamming throttle that put him out. Maybe it was something electronic as well for James Walker. It was here at Club Corner, the reprofiled Club Corner. That wall on the left, incidentally, that's where the Formula One pit lane will be come July. So a lot of work going on here to re-change the look of Silverstone circuit. Anderlecht there ahead of Olympiacos.
Yeah, and then you can see Galatasaray there at the back now with those wet tyres, and I think unfortunately Chris Vanderdrift is going to head up into a very similar place where Galatasaray is right now. So yeah, once again, and here we have Davide Rigon on the track. He's still trying to recover from that sticking throttle in qualifying. The car looks very twitchy in the wet parts of the circuit, but he's going to start charging once he's got past Chris Vanderdrift now. And here we have the leader, Craig Dolby. So impressive, and the fastest man on track by far.
talked to him this morning, shivering in the garage. I said, "You happy with the car and the dry?" He said, "Yeah, it's really felt good yesterday before the rain came in qualifying. Really optimistic." Somebody in the pit lane below us, it's Olympiacos. Chris van der Drift can't take it any longer. Driving on custard, he's doing his head in. He has come in for a change to dry weather tyres. He will still have to make his compulsory pit stop. So really, race 2 is now what his focus has to be. And for van der Drift, the Kiwi here in this Olympiacos car, really, this has now got to be an extended test session. Make sure the car is perfect, because he's going to be starting likely in the first 2 rows on the race 2 grid.
Yeah, no, that's exactly right. And here we're on board with Craig Dolby. Let's listen while he goes into Brooklands. The car's very, very well balanced, and his team's got a perfect setup. He's got a little bit of understeer, but look at the traction that he gets. He gets on the power so easily, and he's just doing it out front, nice and calm, and absolutely great to see. He's going to be hard to beat in this race.
Well, as a driver, when you get away in a race like this, and when you've got nobody challenging you, it's just you, the car, and the track. That's what. And that's what makes him so dangerous. If they can't pressure him here, they've got little chance of catching him, barring some misfortune.
Yeah, no, that's exactly right. He's 12.5 seconds in front of the next guy. He's got an absolutely huge lead. But as we just saw, looking at the timing screens, everybody just jumped in to the 37s, and they're really cracking on to Craig Dolby's pace. So it's going to be interesting. There's still 30 minutes of the race, plenty of time to go.
Of course, now these cars start with a full tank of fuel, just like Formula 1 do these days. Julian Schuss in the Roma car getting on the AstroTurf there and kicking up the spray. So even though they've all got at least 2 sets of fresh tyres ready, they will certainly have started the race today on a fresh set of tyres. Those 3 or 4 really quick laps at the beginning, they're gone now, and now half a dozen laps in, they've all settled down. But as the fuel load lightens, the car gets quicker and quicker.
Yeah, I think this morning they would have started on the set they ran in qualifying, to be honest, because when you try run new sticker tyres, when the track's greasy, then it's very, very hard, as we have a replay here of AS Roma going very wide onto that AstroTurf. And what happens now is the track's dry, but the AstroTurf on the outside holds a lot of water. And if we watch right here, as soon as he touches it, it's huge amounts of spray coming off the car, and it's very, very dangerous getting out there. But yeah, when it's half wet, half dry, you don't want to run brand new tyres. You want to stick it because they groove into the track, and what they'll be doing is, now that it's dry, when they come in, they'll be putting brand new tyres on, and as the track dries up, they're going to get quicker and quicker. And as we see, Craig Dolby just set in a new fastest lap of the race, so he's still a man on the charge.
Yeah, his fastest lap 1:36.8. Last lap for Flamengo 1:37.3. That's the car in second place, 13 seconds behind now. Flamengo 37.3. Fastest race lap though now from Milan in 4th place. That's very interesting, a 1:36.7, quicker even than our leader. So Jelmer Berman in the black and red colours of AC Milan really starting to find some pace here.
Yeah, no, it's great to see. And as we see, everyone's getting in the groove now. They're feeling their feet. And as we see FC Basel, they're making their way back. They're trying to charge back up through the field after that mistake. What also happens is when you go through the grass like that, you get a lot of water, you get a lot of mud into the radiator. So hopefully his engine's going to last and it's not going to overheat.
Well, in the scorching temperatures of nearly 7 degrees now here at Silverstone, maybe not so much of a worry. In fact, in qualifying yesterday and for practice, they were blanking off the ducts to try and keep temperature in, because as you say, these big V12 engines need a substantial amount of cooling, particularly in the summer when we get to the tracks where the temperatures are in the high 20s and the 30s. Here, possibly not quite so marginal.
No, it's not quite marginal, but it still does affect the engine, and he's up into 7th place now, and he's just stuck behind Sporting Club de Portugal, so let's see if he can make his way through.
Battle here between the 2 cars of Roma here in 10th place, and just in front PSV Eindhoven, and the Dutch club being run by a Dutch team racing for Holland, owned by Formula 1 winner Jan Lammers, and himself a former Grand Prix driver in 2 different periods. He drove in Grand Prix twice, more than 20 years apart. And Narain Kartikeyan, their driver, Indian driver, raced in the British Formula 3 Championship. Very competitive here at Silverstone always, knows the track well, but what a bizarre season he's got. He's combining racing in SuperLeague with the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series. Last weekend he made his debut in South Carolina.
As he just goes off he's gone off, and AS Roma goes through. Just made a mistake, just touched the water there, but yeah, as we were saying, you can't have two things that are different. Racing a Craftsman's truck with a roof over your head, and now you hop into a single-seater car that's a lot quicker, and obviously in America he's only turning left, so it's a very, very different scene, and it's great to see Narain back here.
Yeah, so 750 horsepower in front of him in a V8 or 750 behind him in a V12. I mean, yes, what different worlds he's inhabiting from one weekend to the next. Now then, here is Basel again, putting this pressure on Sporting Club de Portugal. This is the battle for 6th place. In the green car, Borja Garcia, raced here in World Series by Renault in the UK at Donington, so New Donington, raced here at Silverstone in GP2 as well, so he knows the track well, and of course he knows these cars too. It's going to be really tough for Basel to get by, and certainly Max Wissel is struggling to get into a position to actually make a move on him.
Yeah, let's watch on board for a second here. He's used a couple push-to-passes already throughout this race, and I think he's just struggling with a little bit of downforce. Let's see how close he gets in the slow-speed corners.
Well, one thing that was interesting, unlike the lap we saw in the damp in qualifying, was he was absolutely flat on the throttle through Bridgebend, so significantly more grip.
Oh, and here's Chris van der Drift.
Van der Drift, yes. Drifting out wide on his dry tyres, and again such limited dry weather running that he's still finding the limits. He's never raced this car, not tested this car before this weekend, so really finding his feet. Pit window is now open. With 15 minutes in, there is a 10-minute window of opportunity to go in and change your tyres. You've got to guess that Chris will leave it as long as he can, but who's going to be the first to crack?
We've got a car in the pit lane. Who is it?
It is Anderlecht, so Davide Rigon, the 2008 champion, the Italian driver we heard from earlier, comes to a halt. Pressure on the team here, of course, full 4-tyre change.
First pit stop of the year, so let's see how they go with this.
Left front was a little slower than he would have liked, but no major dramas. Had a couple of wheels fall off the Roma car during Friday's running, so don't want any repeat of that. But you're right, and the pressure on the team members there, of course, is they know that it's very unlikely you're going to give your driver a big advantage, but you can really lose them the race. Down comes Galatasaray, stuck it out right to the end on those wet weather tyres, Tristan Gomedy, and what's left of them comes off now. Slicks or wets? Well, there's no choices there.
Yeah, he's got, looks like a set of used slicks going on. He'll be so over the moon that the pit lane window is finally open. It'll be interesting to see if he comes out in front of Chris van der Drift, but then of course Chris van der Drift, the other guy that was on wets, has to pit again. And as we see Christian Gomedy coming out for Galatasaray, a little bit of a mistake, but hey, that same choice could have won him the race, so it's always a difficult gamble.
Yeah, it must have been hard to drive while he was busy kicking himself. In from third is Duncan Tappy.
There was a very, very slick pit stop.
Push the pass on the outlet. Push the pass on the outlet.
And he's got brand new tyres on there, and as you heard the team calling, use the push to pass, and that means that he's using the extra revs, the extra power from the push to pass button, trying to get a very, very quick lap in and out to try and jump a couple guys in the pits or hold his second place. As we see FC Basel in the pit lane, very slick stop by GU Racing, and he's going to be trying to use that push to pass as well, because he was back in 7th. He wants to jump some guys on the track.
See how much more light grey there is, but this pit exit road is always wet, always has puddles in, and the drivers will be aware of that after qualifying as well. Max Wissel came in from 10th place. There is our race leader. So I expect Dolby probably to stay out as long as he can. He's clearly happy with the car, happy with the tyres, having fun with the throttle as well. Drills it out of Luffy, a little untidy, but it cost him a 10.42.
So we'll hear Craig Dolby in next lap. We just heard pit, Craig Dolby. So he's going to be pushing incredibly hard this lap, trying to do a very, very fast in-lap. As you saw him flicking the car around, just having fun at the front. And, it's great to see as he goes through maggots. Car looks on rails. The man doing the business.
And of course the reason he has to push extra hard on the in-lap is that he knows some of his rivals are on the out-lap, and they will be using that overboost facility, that over-rev facility, to give them that little bit of extra speed down the straights.
Yeah, I mean, here we see Craig Dolby. Look at this, cracking on the throttle. Huge oversteer slide. And it's great to see the cars moving around. But obviously, as the fuel load's burning off, here we go, on board. Let's watch this moment. Cracks open the throttle right now, and he'll get oversteer. Huge oversteer. And yeah, that's as the tyres are degrading and as the fuel load's coming off. As we see Narain Karthikeyan for PSV United. Oh, and did he clip the tyres there?
Well, Milan are in, Sevilla are in as well, and Sevilla pick up a play. Oh no, that's not Milan.
See, we've got a huge mess in the background there with the bottles. The air bottles have gone crazy for Narain Karthikeyan.
So that's really going to cost him. He'll be dropping way down the order.
And Robert Dornbos in the pits there.
Started last on the grid. And for the cameramen as well down there in the pit road and for our reporter Abby Griffiths, you've got to have eyes in the front and the back of your head because there are cars and crew working everywhere. So Spurs still lead, yet to stop. FC Porto in second place, yet to stop as our leader hits the pit road speed limiter.
This is very important stop here. Pit lane speed limiter on. The guys are getting organised.
3, 2, 1,
Liverpool are ready in the background as well. And a fast in-lap as well, a 141.4, including coming down the pit road and crossing the line for Craig Dolby. So he was really drilling the car on the way in, and equally important to get the most out of it on the way out as well.
What gap have I got, Simon? What gap have I got?
And as we see, FC Porto in the pits as well, getting new tyres on the team, being nice and calm there. Cranking on a little bit of front wing there, trying to get the balance a little bit better as he's coming out, because it's really guessing for these guys.
And the drivers also have a way of changing the balance of the car. The front roll bar is adjustable inside the cockpit, Earl, and that can help them balance the car during the course of the race.
Yeah, we've got a couple of tuning tools. You've got the front bar and also you've got the front wing. So there's a couple of tuning tools. As we see, Craig Dolby's hit a little bit of traffic here, and that's not what he wants right now. And we see the lap times absolutely tumbling and new fastest laps being thrown out everywhere. As we see Craig Dolby making a pass on John Martin.
So got by the Atletico Madrid car now, of course. Martin not being lapped, he was in 5th place, and Craig Dolby coming out behind him. Martin yet to stop. Fastest race lap again is Duncan Tappy in the Flamengo car at 136.9. 136.9, the fastest we've seen so far, and it is Olympique Lyonnais that lead at the moment. Sebastian Bourdais, the Frenchman, yet to stop.
Yeah, and Sebastian Bourdais just did a hugely fast lap, the second fastest lap of the race, so he is really pushing hard now when he's got clear track, and he's going to be looking to try and jump a couple people before he comes in for his pit stop. Let's see, is he going to come in this lap? Yes, in the pits. This is a very important stop for Sebastian Bourdais. Can he make and jump anyone in the pit lane?
Well, there's probably only one more lap after this. Lyonnais come in, still to stop Atletico Madrid and AS Roma. Liverpool, of course, out of the race, the only car not running, so 2 more being waited for.
And here we go, there we see Tottenham Hotspur. They're going to retake the lead of this race once the pit stops cycle through, and new tyres on there for Sebastian Bourdais. Got the visor up, having a little bit of a cool down chat, and oh, that's a very, very tight entrance for AS Roma there. And is Bourdais going to get out? What's going on? He's blowing the hands. Oh no,
now
something's gone wrong.
Qualifying left rear seems to be the problem. He had a bit of confusion with the team in qualifying. He had hot tyres on. He wanted to make sure he did. They thought he wanted colder tyres for some reason.
The car is stalled there, and he's got the starter motor out there.
Now, interestingly, looked like they were having a little problem with the idle this morning when they were warming the car up. We were watching there. They had the laptops plugged in, and the engine management guys were talking to the team. And looks as though now it's starting and immediately stalling. Does that mean he's got a clutch problem?
Possibly a clutch problem, possibly a gearbox problem, but really, really not happy there throwing the hands around. And that's a great shame. He just set a very, very quick lap time, and yeah, great shame. And waving the hands around, I think that's his race over.
Well, now, of course, what he's got to do is storm off, kick the bin, and then calm himself down and get ready to start race 2 from the very front, because Liverpool will be on pole. Looks like Olympique Lyonnais will be alongside, so it's not all done. This is a 3-race weekend, because the top point scorers in the first 2 races go into the dash for the cash. But it looks like they haven't given up yet. He hasn't stormed off in disgust, so they're still trying to work on something here.
Yeah, maybe someone should just tap him and tell him, hey, you still got pole for the next race, or a front row.
Meanwhile, the green car is our leader. Sporting Club de Portugal finally comes down pit road on the last possible opportunity, as does Atletico Madrid's John Martin.
Let's hope that they have a much cleaner pit stop. It looks very good, and he's straight back out. Very clean pit stop by the team there. And let's see John Martin, is he going to get back out? A little bit slow on the rear. No, very good stop there.
Yeah, well, it couldn't be much worse of a pit stop than Sebastian Bourdais, because he lost a full lap there. Right rear, is that on?
Yep, no, he looks like he's got the engine started and he's going back out, but, a long, long way behind.
Right rear, maybe it was the camera angle, looked like it was on at a very odd angle. It wasn't wobbling around, but hopefully he'll be up to speed. However, he has got a huge amount of work to do.
And here we go back to our leader, but AC Milan are the men at the front right now. They are very, very quick. 1 second quicker than our leader. So are they going to be able to hunt down Tottenham Hotspur? Do they have enough time to hunt them down? That'll be the question. But Craig Dolby hasn't put a foot wrong so far, and is really the man out front, looking very smooth, very comfortable, right on it.
So it is Spurs that lead. Sporting Club de Portugal came in from the lead and have now lost that. When they cross the line next time, we'll see where they end up. But Sporting Club de Portugal, Atletico Madrid were first and second when they came down pit road. As the leader comes to the line, 15 minutes remain, so the pit window closes in 4 seconds. Luckily, everybody has already made their stops. In the case of Chris van der Drift and Olympiakos, twice that gamble on the grid on wet weather tyres. It wasn't a hero choice, it was a zero choice, I'm afraid, today. Could have gone either way. And interestingly, looks maybe as though the cars side by side on row 5 led each other into perhaps gambling on a wet. Whoever revealed the wet choice first, maybe the other team went, okay, we'll go for that as well.
Yeah, no, that is quite possible, and it's always a very, very difficult choice. As we'll see, let's see how the guys filter through now that everyone's done their pit stops. But certainly Tottenham Hotspur have got a huge lead, still 15 and a half seconds over top of Flamingo and AC Milan very, very quickly in third place. And here we are on board AS Roma as the pit window just closes now.
So Roma now with Julian Schuss in 9th place. John Martin in Atletico Madrid's machine. Now that was a really good call to stay out on those tyres, get the most out of them, because he has gone up from, I think, 12th before the pit stop round started. He's now in 8th place. Okay, Julian Schuss is breathing down his neck, but he gained himself 4 places by staying out and getting quicker and quicker and quicker. And now he's still got that little bit of advantage perhaps from the tyres. But no, Schuss launches down the inside into
That's
Stone.
A huge move, but he doesn't quite get it done. But what's going to happen? Let's see, down to the next chicane. Schuss is very, very close. Martin blocks, but he dives it up the inside. No, not quite in there enough, but huge pressure now. This is a fantastic battle. Because Schuss lost that position to Martin through those pit stops, so he's going to really want to get that position back. And let's see, can he get in the draft going up to Abbey Chicane? No, he's too far away this time.
The Abbey Chicane is much tighter as well now than it used to be, as is the Vale, the exit of that Stowe section. So they're perhaps a little harder than ever to overtake at. Always the slight opportunity here into this first corner after Bridgend Brooklands. If the guy in front misses the apex, you can get alongside and pass him into the second left-hander here. But they're almost stationary here compared to the speed they're doing on the faster parts of the track. Let's see, just with a lot of understeer.
Yeah, and unfortunately it wasn't John Martin missing the apex, it was Julian Schuss missing the apex through there. But here he is, he's back in right behind Martin, and he looks like he's got much, much more front grip. Let's see, as he goes to the copse, cranking on the throttle.
Yeah,
really? Yeah, but John Martin goes wide, but also his Roma do, they're following each other, and is he going to be able to close up through Beckett's and Maggots?
Looking back from Atletico and looking forward again from Roma. Flashes from the exhaust on the overrun. That's as the driver gets off the throttle and slicks it down a gear. Paddle shift, of course, the gear change here in this sequential gearbox. Flat out in 6th gear in the slipstream and still not able to close enough to make a move into Stowe. So now it looks like John Martin has settled down a little to the presence of Julian Schuss behind him. He's not getting flustered and he's doing what you have to do well, which is look in front of you and stop watching the mirrors.
Yeah, at that point you just got to get rid of the mirrors, really, as we see Tottenham Hotspur coming through to complete another lap. Got a huge advantage and really not letting the go of that pace yet. He's still one of the quickest men on track right now and looking very, very comfortable. And I think he's going to be, let's not give the commentators curse to him, but he's going to be strong this afternoon.
Absolutely. Galatasaray behind him, 14th place, and that gamble on wet weather tyres at the beginning has cost Tristan Gomedi an entire lap. He is a lap behind the leader because he started on wet weather tyres, and basically the first 15 minutes he may as well only have had 4 gears instead of 6 because he just didn't have the speed. There is Milan though, fastest car on the track, and Milan in second place, 16.4 seconds behind. So softly catchy monkey while we were watching other cars. Jelmer Berman through the pit stop sequence has been ragging that car up into second place now ahead of Flamengo. So again, good move by Berman to get that place away from Duncan Tappy. But Tappy, his last race last July, he had 1 day's testing in January in the GP2 car, in a World Series car, but he has not raced since July, so blowing off the cobwebs here in race 1.
Yeah, he's certainly doing a fantastic job. To be in the top 3 for Flamengo in a class field like this is no mean feat, as we see FC Porto very quick and trying to hunt down Duncan Tappy. But it would be great to see if Flamengo could get a podium in their first race of the season. Let's hope he holds on as we see Tottenham Hotspur on board here.
I think we must have had a mistake by Duncan on the last lap. The first 4 guys, 134.8 for Tottenham, 134.3 for Milan, 134.5 for Porto in 4th place. But last lap, a 1 minute 36.5 for Duncan Tappy, 2 seconds slower. That doesn't just happen. He's made a mistake, gone off somewhere, and that's where the change for second happened, where Milan got by him.
Yeah, no, certainly. And it looks like Duncan Tappy is struggling a little bit now, apart from that change in position with that mistake. Struggling for, and the reason for that would be he hasn't raced in such a long time, and doing a 45-minute race in one of these cars is very physical. His neck, we're in the last 10 minutes, his neck's going to start falling off. You know, his arms are going to be struggling to start turning the steering wheel, and then his concentration's going to lapse, and that's where these little mistakes are going to pop in. And it's only a second here, another second there, and all of a sudden you lose 4 or 5 seconds in one position, and it's very easy to do. But you know, I think that's what's happening there with Duncan Tappy, and he's still struggling at a 136, and yeah, still probably blowing off those cobbles as we're on board with Seville right in the draft here.
Basel, that's Max Wissel in front of us now. Can Marcos Martinez make a move down the inside into Stowe? He doesn't know the circuit before this weekend, but he's obviously spotted where the good overtaking positions are. Had a little look there. Not much chance here in the Vale, but you can really pile the pressure on here. New tarmac and very slippery still through this long double right-hander at Club Corner. Got more grip here now in the dry. Was expecting to hear a little bit of a breathe on the throttle there, but he kept it in all the way through.
No, certainly that was a good balanced car there. He's trying to get as close as he can to FC Basel, but they're doing a good job. They were very quick in qualifying. Unfortunately, he made that mistake, but you know, as we see Seville piling on the pressure, and Marcos Martinez has raced here in the World Series, so he does know his way around the track very well, opposed to the FC Basel of Max Wissel. Still probably trying to learn the circuit as he goes around, as you see Marcos Martinez really closing up to the back.
And something else you saw there was a couple of spots of water on the camera lens, so it looks like the dark clouds are reappearing again, coming in from the west, so just out of our view from the commentary box window. But it does look as though we got spots of water, and that might make the last 8 minutes very interesting, not to say edge of the seat stuff for the drivers. Spurs, Milan and Flamengo the top 3, but for how long? There's Duncan Tappy in the red and black Flamengo car on board with Alvaro Parente in the Porto car, having a second grab of the wheel just to get it into Stowe. Tyres really being pushed to the maximum here. He's attacking hard.
Yeah, no, he is, and he's one of the quickest men on track, as we see more water on the camera lens there. So are we going to have a downpour of rain in the last 7 minutes? Who knows? We've had it all weekend. Let's see if the rain comes, but FC Porto putting huge pressure on Flamengo here, and let's see if he can get the job done. He does have the fastest lap so far of the race, so he has got plenty of pace, but can he get close enough? Can he use his power boost to get past, and how many does he have left? That is the question.
Well, there's no question that Alvaro's a great racing, overtaking driver. You can always rely on him for a bit of spectacle. Former World Series champion, British Formula 3 champion 5 years ago, didn't even contest the opening race weekend, won 10 of the remaining 14 races to just wipe the floor with the opposition. He was one of the all-conquering Carlin Motorsport drivers and returns to Silverstone very happily despite the cold weather. But you're right, there is more water falling, but with these hot slick tyres on what is essentially still a dry track, shouldn't be actually a grip worry, just more of a mental thing for the drivers.
Yeah, but we just saw 2 huge twitches from both the cars on board, so obviously they are losing grip, and the teams are looking very worried there. Are we going to see rain in the last 6 minutes? It's going to be tough to tell, but FC Porto just lost a little bit out to Flamingo. He is struggling to get close enough to the Flamingo car to make a move, and it's a great job by Duncan Tappert. Hasn't been in the car for such a long time, and holding up a guy that's really race fit and experienced right now, Avaraparin, coming from GP2. He's right on the money. It's great to see Duncan Tappert and Flamingo right up there on the podium, but this is the great battle. Who's going to snatch the final podium spot?
Absolutely right, and of course the point's very important here as well, because it decides who gets into the money race at the end of the afternoon, and all the points go to count to the championship, so it's going to be absolutely crucial. Parent just dropping back a little bit. Tappy's maybe found a fraction more in terms of pace, but in fact both of them now down in the 36s. Leader still 1 minute 35.3 for Craig Dolby. Spurs led by over 14 seconds on the last lap, but Milan, quickest car on the track on the last lap, barring a couple. Sporting Club Portugal and AS Roma again finding pace right at the end. There's Milan though, second place. It's a really good start to their weekend as well. You certainly can't argue with Jelmer Berman's progress. Little disappointed with the way things happened in qualifying, but starting 7th, and he's now in 2nd position. That's a good solid race. 5 minutes, few more spits and spots of rain, and again here comes Alvaro Parente in the Porto car, getting set through the Beckett's S's for a run down the Hangar Straight.
Yeah, I think he must have just reset there and just cooled his tyres down, and now he's going to have another really hard attack at the Flamingo. He's going to be on that push to pass button right now. Is he going to make a move and dive it up the inside? Is he close enough? No, not quite. Can he hold it close enough to have a go at the next two S's? Just loses a little bit. Not quite close enough, but it is fantastic racing to watch right now.
Exiting the Vale then, right, and then right again through Club Corner. Huge runoff area being used a lot in qualifying by Alvaro Parente there. Sporting Club de Portugal, car number 2, the green and white colours all over the back of Sevilla.
Oh, he's having a huge look on the inside. Oh, what's going to happen?
He's got him, he's on the inside. Sevilla just hangs on there.
Yeah, and he's right on his tail. What's going to happen into the ABSs? No, Sporting Club de Portugal has lost out a little bit, but that was very, very mature driving between the two, gave each other very good racing room. That incident could have ended in tears very, very easily. And you can see what happens when you battle. FC Basel are gone now, and it's a battle between Seville and Sporting Club de Portugal as we're back on board with FC Porto, nice and close to Flamingo. Going into Cops, what's going to happen here? Can he get a run? No, you got a very brave man getting up the inside there, but he stood close enough going into Maggots down the straight. He's huge pressure from Flamingo now. 3 minutes to go, so you're going to have about 3 more laps at best. Yep. So if FC Porto are going to do it now is their chance to do it.
Yeah, the leader will probably have to complete a 3rd lap. And both Portuguese clubs, this is Sporting Club de Portugal, Sporting Lisbon as they're known in the UK of course, they're also looking to try and make up a place from where they are in 7th. Porto in 4th position right behind Flamengo again into Stowe. But again, Duncan Tappy is doing a really solid job. Looks as though the Porto car has been quicker and has got more pace, but not quite enough to find a way around Flamengo.
Yeah, and at the moment, FC Porto, they're just trying to show the Flamingo car all throughout the mirrors. Show he's there, show he's the pressure, and all it takes is one little mistake, one little wide moment, and then bang, you're in, you're passed into 3rd place. And that's what Alvaro Parente's trying to do right now, is to show that he's there, pressurise him in these last 2 laps. And it's very mature driving, and is he going to be able to get the job done? And the other thing he wants to do is he doesn't want to hurt his tyres too much, but I think the FC Porto car is very, very quick in the slow speed corners. It's got huge grip, very good rotation, and the Flamingo car is very good in the high speed corners, and slightly different lines going on there too, as we see AC Milan passing the line, one of the quickest cars on the track right now. As we saw our leader very, very slow that last lap, 136.6, losing 2 seconds out to the AC Milan car, so maybe a little bit of a mistake by Tottenham Hotspur.
Well, he's got a 13.5 second lead with 1.5 minutes to go. 1 minute 50 seconds, it's going to take him 1 minute 36 to get around. He's going to have to do this lap plus 1 more, and I wonder whether he was just trying to modulate the pace a little to try and make sure he doesn't have to do too many laps. At the moment, I can't see that would be a worry. If Milan was inches behind him, then that might be a worry. Flamengo third, Porto fourth. Looking at them now, coming down the hanger straight, hard onto the brakes from sixth gear at around 165 miles an hour, turning into Stowe.
Yeah, and he's very, very close to slap, but still not quite close enough. Is he going to try dive up the inside? No, he's going to stay behind.
Looking back from Flamengo through Club Corner, as Liverpool's car comes back into the pit lane on a low loader underneath us. Flamengo defending down into Abbey. Porto got really out of shape here over that little bump now. That's something that they're going to have to look at, because Formula 1 cars, if these cars are showing the bump there, Formula 1 cars are going to be aviating over that, right in the middle of the braking area. And again, the Porto car showing its nose everywhere. Last lap then for Craig Dolby, 45 seconds on the clock, and he will take the checkered flag next time round, assuming I haven't just cursed him. Milan in second place, and here is the battle for third. One last chance for Duncan Tappy to hold on for Flamengo. One last chance for FC Porto's Alvaro Parente, and he's closer than ever across the line. He's going to have a look maybe around Copse.
No, not quite, and he almost got Flamengo to block to get a good run, but has he got a run into Maggots? No, not quite yet. He's going to try stay as close as he can through Maggots, and get a good run through the hanger straight. Let's watch closely, see how they go. He's nice and close. What's the exit going to be like onto that straight? It looks not too bad. Can he get close enough down the straight?
Well, he's been closer coming out of the Chapel curve down the hanger straight. He's close enough now maybe to think about it, and I'm sure if either of them had the over rev left, it's all been used on the way out of Maggots and Beckett.
He's so close, he almost tried around the outside, and this is the closest he's ever been going into the S's. Is he going to bang out the inside? No, he's going to stay, hold station, and this is a great, great battle for the last podium position, first podium of the year.
Phenomenal battle there, 15 seconds ahead of Max Wissel in the Basel car in fifth, but with a lead of 13 seconds as he started the last lap. Craig Dolby makes no mistakes, led from the third corner after a blinding start, and claims the first win of the Super League Formula season for Spurs.
Great job, Craig. Well done. Brilliant. Nice and easy on your tyres, mate. Nice and easy on the way in.
Happy Easter, Craig Dolby, well done. That's a great start to anybody's season. Milan as well.
Hey, Yelmer, great job. Next position. Congratulations.
Excellent job by Jelmer Berman to take second place, and Duncan Tappy as well. Hats off. Didn't know he had a drive until Tuesday. Sunday, he's third place in his first race since last July. Great effort for Flamengo, and Porto, Alvaro Parente just behind him in fourth place. Poleman Max Wissel takes fifth for Basel, ahead of Sevilla in sixth, Sporting Club de Portugal in seventh, Roma in eighth place, and there is the Olympic Lyonnais car. It'll be 13th position for Sébastien Bourdais. Real disappointment for him, but delight for Craig Dolby.
Yeah, for me, Craig Dolby, that was an absolutely stunning race, straight on it, straight out from the mark, and no one really touched him. As soon as he got in the lead, he was gone, and I think, certainly best man of the race, and looking very, very dangerous for this afternoon in the way he passed in those first couple laps. Also, a fantastic job by Flamengo, straight out. Didn't know they were going to race until Tuesday, and now they come out and get a podium in the first race. It's great to see, but Craig Dolby, man of the moment.
Yeah, we're keeping the football tradition alive. There's no question who gets the man of the match award is there. Craig Dolby, demon start, and just drove away from the opposition. When they set faster laps, he didn't panic. Great pit stop by the crew, and Spurs, last year's championship runners-up, Alan Docking Racing turned the car around superbly, and they have produced a race-winning car right from the moment it came off the trailer. So Craig Dolby looking very happy indeed. Didn't get the best out of it in qualifying, but he made up for that in spades here. So Craig Dolby wins race one of the season, race one of three here at Silverstone, of course. Only part of the job has been done, but that's got to give him such a confidence boost, Earl Bamber.
Oh yes, certainly, and we know Craig Dolby. He is a legend at passing around the outside, and I expect a spectacular race and a full attack as we see the race results.
So confirmation then of the full classified result, subject to scrutiny. Craig Dolby from Jelmer Berman and Duncan Tappy completing the podium. Alvaro Parente Max Wissel, our poleman, and Marcos Martinez, the top half dozen. Borja Garcia battled hard, ended up with 7th ahead of new boy Julian Jus, former champion Davide Rigon in 9th. John Martin 10th for Atletico. Then Robert Dornbosner and Kartikeyan, who had that high speed off. Chris Vanderdrift and Tristan Gormady started on wets, didn't work well for them. Sebastian Bourdais with that long pit stop that cost him a lap. Liverpool's James Walker had trouble as well, and he is at the bottom of the pile. And Girondin de Bordeaux, they had a problem and did not make it away at the start of the race. But here is our race winner joining his happy team.
He has to be absolutely ecstatic with that result. You can't ask for a better start to the season, especially winning, and look at it, he is so pumped there.
So pumped he's forgotten how to take the padding out to get out of the car. And our top 3 together, and we're going to try and get a quick word. Abby is hovering in the background to have a word with Craig Dolby. So the first race of the season, and that's exactly what you want. Title contenders all the way through last year. They strike first, they strike hard. Spurs win race 1.
But I'm going to... Okay, let's wait till you get your helmet off. I'll give you that moment. Excited young guy. Well, he's been excited since he's arrived at Silverstone. It's a brilliant win. Here we go. Craig, the hat's on for Tottenham. And this way now. Craig, congratulations. In your words, you just had it large.
I just gave it large. At the start, it just opened up for me and I just hit the push to pass and off I went. And
from 4th to 1st though, did you imagine that so quickly?
I wanted it, yes. So that's what I wanted to do, and I'm over the moon. It's unbelievable. So,
Craig, can we remind everyone that you have never ever ridden on a dry Silverstone track before?
I know, qualifying I did 1 lap in a dry really, and then that was it then. And you know, there's more to come this season now. Started off on a high and let's carry on and having fun.
Well, absolutely, and it was a brilliant win and so deserving. You're aggressive right from the start. Congratulations, sir.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Cheers, thank you.
Okay.
Well done, Abby. Great job for Spurs by Craig Dolby. Great job by the Doc and his boys as well. And that, if you've never seen it before, is what Super League Formula is all about. And that is just the start of our race weekend as well. Race 2 comes up live, and race 3 as well. Good job by Duncan Tappy on the podium there for Flamengo. So for Abby Griffiths and Earl Bamber, I'm Martin Haven, leaving you now from Silverstone. See you for race 2.
British boys.
You are watching ESPN.